Hey, welcome to one more edition of The Laundry Room. I am Matthew Warner. This is.
Nicole Tolan, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Unfortunately, Meek and Thorn could not be with us today, but shout out to them. We'll talk to you guys soon about today's episode. Today, we kind of want to discuss gender and racial inequalities in the workplace, how they affect America, and particularly in the case of Monique, who has recently made claims of gender and racial bias by the company Netflix. She was offered $500,000 for a comedy special, which she feels just wasn't enough. The topic has been covered many times over the last 6 weeks or so, and now we just want to shine a light on that subject, and because it is detrimental to the forwarding of our society, and kind of want to get down to, does her base make sense? Is it a real issue in her particular case? But before we dive into her situation, I'd really like to first discuss just racial and gender inequality, period. Like, what is the true difference of racial and gender bias? Not the difference, or what is it, period. I think that's what I'm looking for.
So, well, I guess my easiest way for me to paint that picture is the Monique thing. So, or there are other women in Hollywood saying the same thing. Viola Davis said it too. Basically, these are people, it could be anyone, who are great and qualified, who have received awards and accolades from different organizations, and feel like they should be paid what they're worth, not less than based upon the fact that they're a female, or based upon the fact that they're not of the majority of the white population, right?
Okay.
So the whole thing is that, you know how when you grow up and your mom says, treat other people the way you want to be treated, and in that it also instills, don't let people treat you any sort of way, right?
Okay.
And so when you ask for your just due, it's just you standing up for yourself, saying that, this is what I'm worth, and it shouldn't matter that I'm brown, it shouldn't matter that I'm a female. I should, of course, receive the same pay as someone else. And the fact that the numbers are astronomically different, like they're so far away from each other, it just kind of makes it more obvious that it's a gender bias, or maybe racial bias in that sense. And I know where you're about to go with that. No, go ahead.
So, could it possibly be perception? There are some cases where I feel like gender and racial bias is clear cut, very clear cut. If a supervisor says, or it's been accused that there's email proof that this person is being dished aside because they're black, or this person has been, paid less because they're a woman, then yes, to me that is considered a gender or a racial bias.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's these gray areas, very, very gray areas, and people's perception. Like, if you feel as though, because, and I said I wanted to get into the Monique situation later on, but I guess she's the clear example of what we're talking about. If you feel like you're worth something, and then the company that you're going to doesn't want to pay you what you feel like you're worth, I don't feel like you should be able to claim a gender or racial bias. And then when you compare yourself, or your proof of your claim is your comparison to someone else, your accolades should be identically aligned. And in her case, I don't think they are.
She's proven that I don't know which awards there are, but she's proven that she's like the only comedian that has received set awards. Like she's not comparing herself to Whoopi Goldberg, right? But Whoopi Goldberg is an actress. Different. Right. I get that they're similar fields, right? Mm-hmm. So one would say the first comment you made was like, you're comparing someone who is, they don't have the same, or the comment before that. I feel like it's a part of the boys club. Like, we know for a fact that women don't get paid the same as men do in this country.
Absolutely.
And as black women, as a black woman, we're at the bottom of the totem pole.
In many cases,
even though it's been said, then research has proven that we're part of the largest educated bunch of people in this country.
And we talked about that in our
the first or second episode, right?
Absolutely.
We know for a fact that we're educated, we have drive, we're motivated, we're expert multitaskers, we can run homes and businesses like no one else. That's not the issue. The issue is that they feel as though people, I don't know who they are, employers or people, whatever, feel as though they don't have to pay us as well, as if we don't need as much as others. So the thing about Monique, and the reason why people are kind of like, I think there's a few reasons people are kind of tearing her story apart.
Okay.
One of them is because people are like, okay, yeah, Queens of Comedy was great, but that was 10
years ago.
Was it 20? Am I that old?
About 20 years ago.
Are we this old?
Yes.
Okay, Queens of Comedy was great, but they're the only set of women who've ever done that since then, though. They are. Hold on.
Okay.
But she's also said that she has been working consistently since then, and the last movie she put out was 2016. And if you look back at it, I think it's Almost Christmas.
Her movie?
She was in.
She was in the movie, and you watched the interview. So was she the draw? Like there was
a lot of
other stars in that
movie.
Okay, so there's a lot of people who added to the draw of that movie, not just her.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think she's very talented. Let me finish first. I think she's very talented. I do. I think she's very talented. She was the hit of, and no, it's 20 years ago, however many years ago, she was the hit of the Queens of Comedy. She was. She in my opinion, she was, and I'm going to live by that. I love some more, but the crowd's reaction in that movie, from that session, it was for Monique.
Absolutely.
She has stayed consistent since then. I mean, people, like, she was the movie Precious. She really was. She was. If she was not A or B, she was. She was. The other things that she's done great and done well at them. I think you have to understand that if you hear that someone on your job, I get to see people's salaries all day long. Okay. So if you hear someone that has your same role and responsibility, set of responsibilities, gets paid $30,000 or $40,000 more than you do. Okay. Yeah, you're doing the same exact work. Are you not going to feel some type of way about it? Like, and companies encourage you, do not discuss your salaries with other employees.
Right.
Okay. You would feel some type of way. She was offered $500,000 now.
She's worth way more than that.
And that is where the real insult. That's the first insult. She said in her interview that not only did they offer her $500,000 to do a Netflix special, but it was also a 2-year contract. So she couldn't do comedy and tell jokes anywhere else. If you're someone of a certain income and you're used to getting at minimum $2 million a year, $500,000 for 2 years that's a real insult.
It is.
That's like you coming from a $100,000 a year job, somebody telling you, okay, this $1050 gonna work, right? an hour gonna work, right?
Now, let's put the entire situation in perspective before we jump off this ledge, because a lot of times when we compare her situation to, say, let's say a job, most people are seeking out a job, and when you get we'll hire you, and then we start to talk about salary, that's when that conversation begins. Where Monique, if she is as good as one side of this conversation would like to say that she is, she could have shopped her special elsewhere. She came to Netflix because Netflix was giving out the checks. Mm-hmm. The big checks. They gave Dave Chappelle $20 million, gave Chris Rock $20 million. She was upset about Amy Schumer getting $13 million. Now, she could have went to, if she felt as though she had done the work, she had been that hot, she could have went to HBO. She could have went to Hulu.
You're saying that she chose
platforms.
Netflix, she
chose
Netflix to complain about.
No, she chose Netflix to get her payday because Netflix was giving out the paydays for comedy specials. She chose Netflix to do it.
Okay.
Now, let's also take into consideration the storm that she kind of created for herself. Mm-hmm. She's in conflict right now with Oprah, Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, who are probably the top 3 names in hiring African American actors, comedians, anything. And when you create amongst your own people this kind of discourse, some of this, you gotta admit, was brought on by yourself. There was also, I can't figure out what part of the interview, the Breakfast Club interview, it was, or whether it was on a different segment or a different day that they were just talking about the situation. It was talked about that, she talked about other offers, and they were lower. So if I'm a business person, if I'm looking at someone who has a reputation amongst their own as being difficult to work with, other companies around in the same genre, in the same area, are giving you lower offers, why should I jump the gun and give you this huge payday? Why should I do that?
I'm trying to figure out how I get on the side of defending her, but I do want to defend her. Let me say this though. Okay. I got sidetracked before. The first insult was the amount of money they offered her in the 2-year contract.
And I agree.
Hold on. The second insult was that in her interview, she said that Netflix said they sent an offer letter. They sent something to their attorneys. The attorneys apparently never received them. I wasn't there. I don't know. The attorney never received them. When they asked them to rescind the offer, they was like, you know what? We're just not going to pursue this any further. So apparently at some point, some number had to be discussed, either in conversation or some sorts. Because when I was listening to the Breakfast Club interview, Charlamagne kept saying, did you counteroffer? Did you counteroffer? Did you counteroffer? And they were making it appear as if they never got an initial offer to begin with to be counter-offering. Somehow those numbers, that number of $500,000 was communicated at some point. Everybody thinks that it's foul. And I think what people have a problem with is the amount of money she's offering. But I think what people really have a problem with is the route that she decided to do it. Well, let me tell you something. When you really have nothing to lose, you can kind of balls to the walls this thing. She'd already been blackballed by those top names, Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey. She'd already been she says she's already been blackballed by them. She's not getting any work from them. Whatever income she's generating, she must be generating on her own accord or with other companies and people who do want to work with her. When Angela Yee brought up the fact that she was on like a Essence cover shoot or something, and someone said she had a bad attitude or demeanor, and she was like, who was that person? They couldn't say who. So the reason why that bothers me is because I'm a very unique person. I'm an acquired taste. It takes people, a certain type person, to really be able to get in my space and for me to feel like very intimate or close with you. And I understand how people can interpret this don't look like a good day for you, but I'd be like, ain't nothing wrong with me. What y'all talking about?
Right.
Sort of thing. I don't know what happened with her. But if she was already blackballed, why not call out these people? She had already called out Oprah a long time ago. She called out Lee Daniels. She called out Tyler Perry. She called out all these people. And you know what we did? We didn't pay her no mind. We was like, oh, they fussing? Like cousins. Like, oh, Shantae fussing with Keith again. All right, whatever.
Absolutely.
We're not thinking about it. But at the end of the day, she's basically telling us that, like, y'all are really trying to prevent me from eating. So not only has she been blackballed by the black people, she's been disregarded by the white money too. I think she had nothing to lose by saying, I want y'all to boycott Netflix. Now, let me be real honest with you. When she first came out and I was on Instagram and I was like, boycott Netflix, why? She said for gender and racial bias. And then she started to go on and on. I was like, I don't even have no Netflix account. So, that don't, like, I can't help you. Like,
Absolutely.
I can't help you. What's going on? And then she started to talk more and more about it. And I started to listen to it. And I was like, well, what's going on? Because at the end of the day, if she feels like she's been mistreated, you have to give people at least the respect of acknowledging what their complaint is. You don't have to accept that it's true, but you have to at least acknowledge what their complaint is. I feel that that's what you should do. But I feel like if all of that happened the way that she said it happened, it was very unprofessional.
So,
no, do I think she should have gotten, people say money, I think she should have gotten an offer 13, 20 million. Hey, maybe not, but I think we have a habit of just thinking that black women can do without.
no.
Like, I have to fight tooth and
think-
nail to make sure that I'm paid well.
I don't think that's the case. I think, and this is what I was going to get to later. I think this is specific to her. I think the young lady Tiffany Haddish is going to get a whopping payday from Netflix because from what she is doing now is greatness. She's already getting a payday from them. Added to Monique's situation in a lowball number, Monique already has a special that's on Netflix, and it sucked.
She has a special on Netflix?
Yes.
I thought she had a show on Netflix, not a special on Netflix.
It's a special
I
where
have no
that she
clue
did
about
at a women's prison, and it wasn't great.
Oh.
So they have a certain metrics on her already that they are going by to come up with that figure. Now, on top of that, she's not the head of her business. She's not the head of her name. If you listening to the interview, she wasn't really even calling the shots. It was her husband. The one that she kept calling daddy all the way through.
Why do y'all have a problem with that?
Because it's weird.
It ain't weird.
It is weird.
It's not weird.
You telling me you're sitting in the interview with your significant other and you're calling him daddy?
That man came into the conversation on business purposes and to protect his wife against a room full of vultures. Like, seriously.
It wasn't a room full of vultures.
It really was. They was like, we don't want to hear this stuff. And
she had something to say, and they just...
She said Leonard.
Exactly. So she
Leonard.
came in with
Leonard.
that air of...
No, she didn't. Like, he's wrong.
She did.
Like, what? Why?
Because
like, why
he
is
doesn't
it so
agree
hard
with her
to
'cause
like?
he's
No,
wrong?
but why is it so hard for us to support her? Like, other people have she has a good point about.
Why do we
something.
have to support her?
She's not. Hold on.
Why?
I'm about to tell you why. First of all, it's not an isolated event. Other women of color have come out. I know Taraji P. Henson has gone through this. I know that Viola Davis came out and said, "Pay me what I'm worth. If I'm as good as Meryl Streep, pay me Meryl Streep money." She said that.
About who?
Viola Davis said that.
About who?
Meryl Streep.
What industry was she asking? Like, what company was she asking to pay?
I don't know. I think she's talking about
Just
regardless
in
of
general?
all over. In general, she's an actress. I know that other people are experiencing. We all know that women and other people are experiencing this, based on gender or based on race. But at the end of the day, I think the only reason we're upset with Monique is because how she chose to go about it. I think it really is, because nobody, like, I really do, because people keep saying, well, why couldn't you have done it this way, or why couldn't you have done it that way? And I really think it's because she had nothing to lose.
I would have felt better about it if she had actually, like, done the work. If she, one of the parts that blew me about that whole initial coming out and video about Netflix is she said that she was the most decorated comedian alive.
I think she proved that.
Definitely did.
I think she told us why she was.
She's not.
Then who is? She's a female. I'm asking you. This is
she
not
said
like a
comedian.
joke.
In the video, she said comedian.
Okay, so who is then? I'm asking you. And I think you're not, like, I don't know.
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle.
They have more awards than her?
Way more. Eddie Murphy.
So is she saying that? No, don't get me wrong. Like, I think they're hella funny. That's like not my issue. I thought she said that she was the most decorated female. She has more than one award. Like, decorated female comedian. One. She only has an Oscar. You trying to say she only has an Oscar? I don't. She said something about it.
She just has her.
She
Oscar.
said something about it. And
she just has her Oscar, and that's for acting. All the comedic. What comedic awards? What? Like. She's going.
Oh no! Well, we about to figure this out.
Right. She just has that one. Before I made the claim against her. She has Best Actress in a Supporting Role. That's an Academy Award. That's the one Oscar.
She has a Golden Globe as well for Supporting Actress in Precious. She has a BAFTA. I don't know which award that is, but for Best Actress in Supporting Role, she has a Screen Actors Guild for. It is for Precious.
All of these are for Precious.
Hold on, she's got an NAACP award for Precious. And a lot of them are for Precious. Independent Spirit Award, Satellite Award. She has an NAACP award 3 times for the Parkers. She's got in the rest of them BET, National Society of Films and Critics, New York Film Critics, and Critics' Choice Movie Awards are all for Precious. Yeah, those are all for Precious.
So outside of
they're awards though. We can't discredit someone's life work.
So a lot of what people are saying about her is Monique was great to work with. Up until that point. She got
an award for Bestie. I'm not going to stop because we ain't going to do my sister like this. She got an award for Bestie.
Up until that point.
She was in Bestie. She got an award for Almost Christmas. She did. It's just not by... All we recognize, I want to say people recognize our Golden Globes, Oscars, and like the BET Awards. Like that's all MTV.
Okay.
That's all we really know, right?
Okay.
But maybe a Tony or something like that. Maybe those things. But she clearly, I don't know what
she's decorated.
Has
and
plenty of awards.
She's great.
Y'all gonna stop playing with her and pay her coin.
I'll go back to the point.
Y'all gonna stop playing with her and pay her
I'll go back to the point that Charlamagne made initially. What have you done for me lately? That tells me that you're going to be a draw for me to recruit. She just
had a party. She just had a movie in 2016. And let me say this.
A part in the movie in 2016.
She did just have a part in the movie. She wasn't the lead
in the movie in 2016.
She was not the lead in the movie in 2016. But why are we sitting here debating that she's not worth it? Like, I feel like that's what... But she's not worth it. She's not worth it. She's not... She is. She is.
But it's
let me say, you cannot...
being worth it. It's Nicole, it is not about, business is not about, are you worth it? Are you as a person worth it? A company is not paying you.
So what do you feel
like
she got?
What
do you feel? Sorry, what do you think that she should have gotten paid? I just want to know.
If I'm
being honest, keep it 100.
3.5 mil.
3.5 mil. I kind of feel like she should have got 5 or 8, but that's just me. That's just me. I feel like she's worth the 5 or 8. I feel like she will pull. I think what she doesn't have is she doesn't have a large Caucasian backing. Like, I think that she has the Caucasian audience, but it is not. I think she does, but it is not large. It's just not large. It's not. I don't think it's only black people who recognize her.
But that's the difference. But that's the difference between her and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock.
The reason why I have a problem with people comparing, I mean, she is.
She did it. She did it.
Okay.
She did it.
I get it, but they're in the same field. But I guess it kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way when you compare her to Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle, and I'm gonna tell you why.
How was she did it?
Hold on.
Okay.
I don't even know if she should have jumped that gun.
She did it.
But I think the reason that it rubs me the wrong way is because it feels like I'm putting them against each other. And I'm very grateful that Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle have not been like very publicly like, oh, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very glad they haven't said. I think that they know for a fact that what's happening to her, like what's happening with her career. And she is an older woman, and age shouldn't have anything to do with it. But I'm saying that she's trying to keep her career alive. She's been in this game a long time. When you say worth it, it should not. It's like saying that her resume, like she said, it doesn't exist. It does exist. She does have a good track record when it comes to, I don't know that jail thing. I ain't never seen that.
Exactly.
But she does have a good track record when it comes to presenting. Everything that I've seen her do has been funny. And she's done her job. She's executed her job. That was her role to play. When she was in Almost Christmas, she was funny. Wasn't she in the Martin Lawrence movie Roscoe or something? He was somebody named Roscoe, the cookout and family. Anyway, she plays her roles well, in my opinion. It just is. I think the issue is that I think what the real issue is and what's being used against her and what's, not helping her is her experiences that she's had with the other people, and they're riding that wave of the experiences that she's had with Oprah or Lee Daniels. Because I feel like her career, I feel like you haven't heard anything about her since the Lee Daniels thing.
But if she had kept her mouth closed, and I say,
just suffering
silence. No. When I wanted to backtrack on that statement before it even came out, but I just think she shouldn't have mentioned the people that she mentioned, because it sounded like she was being
comparing herself to those people.
Yeah, it sounded like she was being bitter at their paydays versus celebrating them and just saying pay me more. If she just would have said pay me more and not mention that, oh, this person got this amount and this person got this amount, because it sounds now, like you said, she's comparing herself. Those guys did the work that led to them getting those paydays. Dave Chappelle filmed his own special and sold it to Netflix.
Y'all gonna hate me for this.
Sold out Madison Square Garden several times.
Let me tell you something. Y'all gonna hate me for this. Y'all still gonna want to pull my fried chicken watermelon card. Listen. I think Dave Chappelle is funny. However, the Dave Chappelle show, I could not laugh. Like, nothing made me laugh. I swear. I was like, but we just making fun of people who are on drugs now?
Everybody gets their opinion about the show. When it came out, I didn't watch it either. However, Dave Chappelle's show...
And that was how many years ago?
Almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
Hold on, but it made millions of dollars. All the matrices that go into these numbers. Audience, what have you done for me lately? Dave Chappelle was selling out the nation. Everywhere he went, he was selling out shows. Chris Rock, everywhere he went, he was selling out shows.
When Dave Chappelle came to D.C., where was his show?
At the Warner Theater, I believe.
Okay.
Was it the Warner Theater, or he even did... Yeah, his was the Warner Theater. It was more intimate.
It wasn't the Verizon, which is now called like Capital One Arena.
The Capital One
Arena. It wasn't Capital One Arena.
It wasn't.
Okay.
But he has... Hold on.
He had several shows.
He sold out Madison Square Gardens like...
Them his people.
Huh?
No, I know he from here, but that's where he gonna get his money from. I'm just being honest. I feel like Dave Chappelle is funny. Like, I'm not discrediting. I'm not trying to take anything away from Dave Chappelle, because I really feel like he's been through it in this industry. Okay? Right. I'm not trying to think. I just didn't find the show. I just kept saying, okay, I'm trying to get it. Like, is it funny? Like, is it me? But like I couldn't get it. Like I really could. I understood what he was saying, and it sunk in, and it made me think.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I just couldn't find it funny, and I think it was so bogus. And the reason why he captured a large white audience is because his roles on his show played to a lot of stereotypes that white people believe in about us.
Right.
But okay, Chris Rock, my man, $100,000. You can give him his 20. I can watch that. I have cried laughing by myself on lonely nights. Okay, watching Chris Rock specials, I still cry laughing to Eddie Murphy Raw. And I think when it comes to female comedians, take away Tiffany Haddish only because I feel like she's been working for a long time, but her ascent to stardom or fame has come in very recent. Who else would you have up there with Monique? And I know who I would have up there, but who else would you have up there besides Monique as far as a female comedian?
We would have to be particularly talking about a black comedian. Black female
It
comedian.
would have to be, it would be a black comedian.
It would be the some Moors. It would be the Jesus Christ. What is this?
We don't know them.
No, we do because oh my God, I'm terrible for forgetting her name.
Well, let me tell you, you've got some more. You've got Adele. You've got Wanda Sykes.
There you go.
You've got
and Wanda Sykes
my
is,
woman with
to
the
me,
blonde
funnier
hair.
than
The lady
Monique.
with the blonde hair. She came on after Monique came on and said Netflix can have her for a little bit of money. They ain't got to pay her no $500,000. What's her name? I forget her name. But she's funny too. And I think what Monique is also saying is that we as women of color are also not given the same platforms as other people. One, when I was listening to this thing happen on social media, and when I was watching the Breakfast Club interview, I kept saying, where's her team? Where's her PR team? Where's her team behind her that's supposed to make sure she wins every day no matter what? I understand that some days you got to get out there and fight for yourself, but your team is supposed to be your best promoter of you. They're hired to sell you, to get you jobs. Where is your team? Not to say that she couldn't get other jobs, but to literally say, how are we going to combat this strategically?
I think she's doing it strategically now.
And when? No, I read comments. So I was reading a comment on something, and they basically said they just played Monique. They got her to do a countrywide, city-to-city tour about a Netflix special that ain't even going to happen. Free publicity for the host, even if they do sign up. She done already did all the cross-country interviews.
I feel like it wasn't for Netflix. I feel like that PR stunt was for her. I feel like she's stirring up because she's really done nothing lately outside of Almost Christmas. She's stirring up all of this publicity so that she can actually do a special. And when what she's already said she's going to do is going to be in May. It's going to be released around Mother's Day.
Who's she doing it with?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just going to be released on a platform. I think it's going to start.
They're going to do it themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be an actual. Exactly, which she should have done in the first place.
I feel like she should have spoke out
in the first place.
I feel like she should have spoke out.
I feel like she set this up perfectly, and going back to what this episode is particularly about, I think she's muddied the waters when it comes to gender and racial bias, because I don't see gender and racial bias here. I don't see gender and racial. If you think
she's worth 3.5, why would she offer 500,000?
Because I don't feel as though there was anybody checking for her at the moment. No one was checking for her. And a lot of those people...
500,000? I want to know how much D-Ray got paid, because he had a special. I really want to know how much he got paid. Because you can't sit here and tell me that...
D-Ray's on tour right now.
D-Ray's always on tour.
Exactly.
No, but that don't...
When was the last time Monique was on tour? She hasn't been.
Exactly. Have to be on tour all the time?
That's what I'm saying. Those people who got those large paydays, they got those paydays while they were on tour.
Okay. I'm with you. I mean, I'm
It's
listening
like,
to you because
what
I don't keep up with comedians. Like if I
That's
hear
what I'm
about a
saying,
show,
it's
like Martin is coming. Don't try to go buy my tickets.
The-
Martin is coming to DC.
D-Ray is with him.
But
See?
you kind of make it my
Exactly.
point for me though.
How?
He's not only on tour. He's not the head.
He's not the headliner.
He's not the headliner.
He's not the headliner.
But Martin himself is not going to the Warner Theater.
Right.
Martin is coming to Capital One Arena.
Right, because he has like 6 or 7 comedians that are with him.
I'm just saying, Dave Chappelle went to the Warner Theater.
Dave Chappelle is way bigger than Martin, and you know.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million.
I understand that.
Came back and got 150.
Money. Oh, I understand that.
Right.
I wouldn't have traded my sanity in either. When I heard the story, I was like, yeah, you should have walked away. That was a setup.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, but still.
The black audience loves Martin.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Loves Martin.
White people love Martin.
Exactly. No, but Martin is, and particularly DC, loves Martin.
Well, Baltimore, wherever he came from. But yeah, but again, I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't be talking about how she's not worth $20 million. More so the simple fact that she should have never been offered $500,000. She should have, the way that she says the transaction went down, should have never went down like that. And Absolutely. I think that she has very valid points, and the reason that you said she muddied the waters, but I think she has valid points. I think that it had to be spoken out about though. Like, y'all not gonna keep blackballing me that I'm not gonna say anything about it.
You have to say, if you're gonna make a statement like that, it has to come with more base than what she gave. If they had given Tiffany Haddish a similar payday, say they gave her $750,000, more than her, but still a very low number, which they actually did, but it's for something different. Yeah.
They actually offer her that much money?
They offered her that much money, not for a special. She's on a show. She's on an animated show, and they gave her $800,000 for it. But say they offered her $750 for a special. That would be crazy. And then, to me, you can claim gender and racial bias. Because we know Tiffany Haddish had a best-selling movie.
What movie she had?
Girls Trip.
That was her movie.
That was her.
That wasn't her movie.
That was her.
No, it wasn't.
That was her.
No, it wasn't. I'm done. Okay.
That was her.
Okay. That was Regina Hall's movie. Is that her name? Yeah, Regina Hall. That was Regina Hall's movie.
Every hilarious moment in that film, who are you laughing at?
She was there for the comedic. I get it. I get that. But that was Regina's movie. I'm sorry, I'm a big Regina fan.
Okay, cool. We'll give it to Regina. It was.
But she definitely, all of those personalities or those people, actresses together made that. I think they all did a really great part in that movie. I never thought about it as Tiffany's. Honestly, I'm just being very honest with you. I've never thought about it as Tiffany's movie.
Right.
Not to say she doesn't deserve everything that she's receiving. But I didn't think about that.
And that may go into why she got paid. She
came out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know about everybody else. Maybe y'all have seen her before, but she tells this story on Ellen about how she was, her job was to be a face in the crowd for a long time. And one day she was in the back telling jokes and kicking it with people that she worked with. And Oprah walked by and said, you're a funny girl. Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't know of Tiffany Haddish. Knew. But, like, she came out of nowhere. Like, we knew Kevin Hart was coming because he had all these little BET movies and Soul Plane. We knew where he was coming from. I didn't see Tiffany Haddish from anywhere.
Nobody saw her. She was doing stand up, and after, of course, once somebody comes out, then there's all these videos and all this other stuff that surfaces. Right. So I had the opportunity one day, and I went back and looked at some of her older stuff, and she was on a whole lot of like small circuit comedy shows, which I mean it makes sense.
Right.
But
her story is really like she's a perfect package in a sense. I won't say perfect. No one's perfect, but she has a great package. Not only is it her come up from that movie because that movie was so great right? It's also her personality. She truly is funny. And then
humble.
you have her story. Then you have her story. All of that together makes like the perfect star.
So, all of that together makes a perfect star. Now, you take that same package, remove the story, add negative reviews about attitude, and you have Monique. So I'm telling you, even her Tiffany's $800,000 payday for the animated series that she's doing for Netflix now, I think is a low number for her. But they have no matrix on her by herself. Like you said, the movie that she was in, it wasn't her movie. So now we're looking at her by herself.
I think they know that she's going to make them make.
And when she does, and she comes out with her actual comedy special, I'm sure she's going to get like $12, $13 million.
And I'm pretty sure
maybe
that
15.
If it hasn't, there's a possibility that Monique's ranting has somehow made Netflix think we better come to the table very correct when it comes to Tiffany. Because if they offer her something crazy, that might get heard about too.
I mean, she might go. Tiffany's a very likable person.
So Monique isn't likable because of what we heard about her. But yeah, we've only really heard like. I haven't heard like I've heard her say things about people. I don't remember any. I probably have heard. I just don't remember like Tyler Perry saying, "Oh, I'm not working with her. She crazy." Or I know she told Oprah some very disrespectful things. But
she says like but you like come on, like if you come on.
It's Monique though.
And did you know the story that went behind that?
No, not really. I don't remember what it was. I know I'm on social media a lot, but I don't really be that delving into stuff.
So, apparently, Monique was abused when she was... I can't say apparently, but she was abused when she was younger. And she was abused by her brother. I believe it was. Yeah, her brother. And I guess she told Oprah about this story or what have you. So I think Oprah decided to have her brother on her show.
Oh, yeah.
Without her permission. So she said she went back and forth. She saw Oprah a couple times after the show. She didn't say anything about it. But she went to an award ceremony. And they were supposed to be presenting someone with an award. And she got on stage. And she approached her. I don't want to get all the words wrong. But she approached her that. Which to me is... It plays to your character. Like, if we're in business, something happens that's a miss, you should be able to come to me in private and say, hey, that was foul, so that I can even, correct what was done, or in some kind of way, even though it probably could not be corrected, but in some way rectify what was done, rather than to call me out on a public forum, like.
I think that's
but
her
that's
way.
Oprah.
I think that's her way. I think that's Monique's way.
So
if you're saying that she did that at a award ceremony,
exactly. So that's her way.
That's
now.
Way.
Doesn't every company have the right to say, either yay or nay, I want to work with you, or I don't want to work with you? Okay, so to me, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't think Netflix really wants to work with her.
I don't think...
And I think that's their prerogative.
They were interested when they were there. I think whatever happened, upon leaving or in the middle of negotiations, whatever the case may be, I don't think they want to work with her now. And I don't think they're going to work with her now. However, I don't think all the opportunities for her are over. I think...
of course not.
I think that if you tell me I've been doing I've been in a career for 20 years and doing all these things, and have been told I'm great, right? Great, you're good at this. This is great. You deserve. You're the best for this, and you're the best for that. And then I come to the table, and all of a sudden, I feel like, why would you offer me that? Like, why would you do that? Like, that's not right. Like, that's not cool. And I get it. If you go somewhere and y'all also talk about money and you're not being offered what you think you're worth, then you go somewhere else and shop. Still an insult, though.
It is.
Still an insult.
It is.
And I don't think it was right at all. And when she told me many moons ago this is what Wanda Sykes got offered, I was thinking Wanda Sykes was big as like ever back in the day when they was talking about what they offered her as far as the special was concerned. I know they said their management changed, yada yada yada, whatever. But Wanda Sykes was big.
Cool. What had she done?
No.
Lately?
Apparently she was doing well at the time when they offered it to her.
When?
But Wanda Sykes.
When?
Whenever they offered it to her, I don't know, but that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is that they're saying that Netflix's defense was that at that time that wasn't a big thing, like having a comedy special or
right.
things
So
like that.
okay, there you go.
Thing. But I don't think they would offer. Again, I think because Tiffany's hot, okay, maybe she'll get offered. She's not gonna. But whatever.
But
okay.
see, they
Tiffany Haddish. I wanna see if they offer her a number anywhere near Amy Schumer.
I think they will.
I don't think they will.
I think it.
I think if they do, it's because they want to CYA. I don't think they're going. I don't think so. I don't know. Cause I'm with Charlamagne on that. I don't never seen Amy Schumer stand up. I didn't think she was funny.
She was terrible as a
yeah,
terrible.
I don't think she was funny.
Terrible. She's not funny at all. She's
I
probably.
What was that movie?
Here's the thing though about her. Here's the thing about Dave. They sell. She sold out.
Yeah, because they got that dry comedy.
Exactly.
I think Dave Chappelle is funny now, but like that show, I just couldn't. It's like the Boondocks. When I first started watching them, people were watching the Boondocks. I was like, I'm not watching that.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
What? When Boondocks first came out, I was like, no, I can't watch that.
Why?
I couldn't.
It was
hilarious.
hilarious.
It was too much. It was like the little boy. You're thinking like all things you're not supposed to do, y'all just did.
Yes.
It took me a long time to get used to the Boondocks. I'm talking about reruns was playing before I got used to the Boondocks. So
that's crazy.
It's just interesting. I remember in college hanging out at someone's house and just like, turn the TV. Like, what is this?
Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. Alright, so I think we've just about covered every base about her that we
I hope she makes
possibly
millions.
can.
I love a story like
that. I feel like she's muddied the waters. I really do. I feel like she's muddied the waters for.
That's Hollywood though. They want you to just be quiet, make it look pretty. This is acting. This is Hollywood wants you to do. I think at some point someone has to speak up. And maybe we don't like the way that she did it, but I think she was right in doing so. I think she was right. I may not agree with how she did it because it caused so much ruckus, right? And I'm not that person that wants to cause like all the friction going on. But at the end of the day, I think that she had to do it. There's plenty of us.
She did what was necessary for her, and
she stayed true to herself.
I think in the conclusion of all of this, she's right in staying true to herself. The way she went about doing it, I think she could have went about it, and a lot of things in her career she could have went about a whole lot better. I just pray the best for her, that she finds whatever the best situation is that I guess she's searching for. That she finds some peace in her life, because I feel like there may be a bit of turmoil in her life.
I think she's upset because she's probably, she was able to get jobs before. Like, jobs no problem. Like, once I heard about the Lee Daniels incident, I didn't see Monique in anything else. So I don't know what really happened. And I can think Empire was so big, at the time. Like, I don't watch Empire. People think I'm crazy. Empire was so big at the time, I think, and Lee Daniels was too, because he had so many things going on at that time that, nobody wants to mess up their money. People put their money takes care of me. Nobody wants to mess up your money. I think that I just haven't heard anything about her since then. But I mean, she's not the only one saying it. That's the real thing that gets me. Is like, people are like, well, Monique is acting up, and nobody else doing this. It's not. It doesn't mean it's not happening.
Keep in consideration too that.
And I think it exposed flaws in her team. That's the real.
Starting with her husband. All right, starting with her husband.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's part of the reason. He's part of the reason why some of her deals went south.
Really?
That's what people are saying. Again, I'm speculating from the outside, from far away. But that's what, like, it's weird.
Leonard.
Daddy, like, come on, man.
People do
That's
it.
weird. No, they don't. Not in business. Not in business situations. Definitely not in public.
People do it in public.
I've never heard a woman in public call her husband daddy.
That's because, and I don't mean to offend anyone that's married, but it annoys me that when people get married, all of a sudden their husband or wife doesn't have a name. They're automatically named husband, wife. Like, what? They have a name. Like, they're a person. They're more than just a role. But
I'm not husband.
That's what it. Well, my husband is going. Like, that's how.
So she should say. So it should be okay. No. My daddy is.
No, I'm saying that's what she calls her husband. I don't see a problem with it. That's just me. I don't see a problem with it. I don't. Like, it's not a literal sense of father. So, it is what it is.
But in the business world, like, you can get other pet names. I wouldn't say my baby.
I think she was I think you're right. It doesn't
it's
seem.
Not professional.
It doesn't seem, exactly. It doesn't seem like that suits the current situation or, the setting. I agree with you there. I was like, she done dated this man to death on this thing. But it still didn't bother me. It didn't bother me when she called him. I was like, oh, okay, that's their relationship. Good to see a personal side of them. I'm different. I know I'm different.
Well, closing thoughts.
Pay that woman her money. Like, I think she's worth it. I honestly do think that she's worth it. And I also think it's important for us to support each other at minimum enough to hear the person out, to acknowledge that something has been done. I really do feel that way. Real quick though, everybody remembers Countess Vaughn. Remember Brandy, the show Countess Vaughn? She was in that show. And she was, Kim, exactly. But Kim was also a very young girl on 227. Okay. And if you ever heard Countess Vaughn tell her story, she was young on 227 and she actually got pregnant. And she had an abortion. And like for years, her career was over. And she was like, no one wanted to work with her after that because of, it's something real that happens. I don't know if you made that connection the way I do, but it's something real that happens after that. And I think that people probably labeled her, as upset and angry and bitter, and they had like a whole little reality TV show of women who were seen that way. About it. I think it's a real thing. I think it's just important that we support each other and at least hear each other out, and to the point where we can say, you know what? I may not agree with you did, but I acknowledge the fact that you say you had this experience. I acknowledge the fact that you're hurt. I acknowledge the fact that you feel like this is unfair. I feel like you have to at least do that. I mean, everybody has a hashtag now, so like,
absolutely,
you have to at least, hear that, and maybe next time we can talk about all these sexual harassment allegations.
We're going there next week. We're going there next week because there's even been some stuff with ESPN that I wanted to cover tonight, but I know we're running out of time at this
That's
point.
cool. But yeah, but I just think let's just be respectful or supportive enough to at least acknowledge our own, because I think we should be the first ones to do it. You know, I think we really should, because when she does well, we'll clap for her. When she does well, like, oh, she ain't one of us no more. Oh, she ain't one of us.
She's
it's
doing
not
crazy.
Fair. It's not fair.
So, to add on to that, I want to kind of say you slightly changed my perspective in some ways, and I do feel like I do need to hear her out a little bit more, give her a little less hate, I guess, but I really don't consider it hate. It's just, I feel like my honest opinion and critique as to, you know, her way of doing things. She's a heck of an actor, and even at her true base of being a comedian, she's great. I want her to get paid, but I want her to leave other people out of it.
I think you're right. She didn't have to be. It did feel a little messy. I think she tried to tailor that message as much as she possibly could. She was like, I'm not upset that Amy got 13. I'm not upset that Chris or Dave got 20. I'm just saying $500,000. I think she tried the message, the way it was delivered, it wasn't delivered well.
She tried to put it in perspective.
But again, it's back to my thing. Your team is supposed to make sure what comes out is right. But I also think she's not the type to take orders very well. Mm-mm. In a sense of, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going to say because I am right. And thinking that people will connect with the fact that she's right versus how the message is being delivered and how people can connect with that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's no secret that women are paid less than us. If she would have just came from the message had been softer, maybe we would have listened. And we definitely don't like when women get loud and and
but
angry.
Let's when it comes to like anybody getting loud in divorces, we kind of look at them and be like, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing this?
This is how I feel on the inside. I'm gonna let it out.
So, this is my charge to anyone that's listening right now. I just encourage you to let us know how you feel. I'd love to pick this conversation back up a little bit next week before we move into the sexual harassment allegations that have been made even recently after our episode on the year for women, which was like the first episode that Nicole was here with us on. So hit us up in the comments and just let us know how you feel. And this has been another episode of The Laundry Room. Thank you and good night.